Well. Back again. Just my 2 cents. Just want to drop a little knowledge. Just want to talk to the people. It's just boxing. I want to talk about the late great Emanuel Manny Steward. Mm, he was an American boxing trainer. He was also a commentator for HBO Boxing. The late great Stewart trained 41 world champion fighters throughout his career, most notably Thomas the Hitman Hearns. And yes, I will do a video on Thomas the Hitman Hearns. Um, through the famous Kronk gym. Little background on the Kronk gym. The Kronk gym is a boxing gym located in Detroit. Once led by the trainer Emanuel Steward. It was run out of the basement of the oldest recreational center of the city of Detroit and became a household word in the sport of boxing. And its gold shorts a magnet to young talent following the enormous success and high profile of multiple world champions and champion in boxing Hall of Famer Thomas the Hitman Hearns in the 1980s. Um, Emanuel Stewart later trained heavyweights like Lennox Lewis and uh, Klitschko, Vladimir Klitschko. His heavyweight fighters had a record of 34 wins, 2 losses, combined in title fights. He was inducted into the International Boxing Hall of Fame and the World Boxing Hall of Fame. Stewart was also known for his charity work in Detroit, Michigan, helping the youth to attain an education. Emanuel Stewart, aka nickname was Manny, nationality is American, of course. He was born July 7, 1944, in Bottom Creek, West Virginia. He died October 25th, 2012, at the age of 68 in Chicago, Illinois. I'm just going to just talk a little bit about his life and his career. Stewart was born in Bottom Creek, West Virginia. I'm not going to pretend to act like I know where that's at. I know where West Virginia, but I don't know anything about Bottom Creek. But by the age of 12, he had moved with his mother, excuse me, to Detroit, Michigan, after she divorced his father, who was a coal miner. And after moving to Detroit, he worked briefly in the auto industry before eventually going to Brewster's Recreation Center. I don't know why I just started laughing because that Brewster reminded me of the Richard Pryor movie, Brewster's Millions. Funny show. But the Brewster Recreation Center where Joe Louis and Eddie Fulch trained. Stewart began an amateur boxing career there. He compiled a record of 94 wins and 3 losses as an amateur boxer, including winning the 1963 National Golden Gloves tournament in the bantamweight division. In 1971, Stewart took his half brother James Stewart to the nearby Kronk gym, a hotbed for amateur boxers in the 1970s. It became a part-time coach there. Stewart trained many of the nation's top amateurs. He eventually translated his success with amateurs into a career training championship level professional fighters. On March 2nd, 1980, Hilmer Kenty became Stewart's first world champion by knocking out world lightweight champion Ernesto Espana. Stewart achieved his most notable early success with welterweight Thomas the Hitman Hearns, whom he changed from a light hitting boxer into one of the most devastating punchers in boxing history. Hearns became one of Stewart's most successful and popular fighters, fighting the likes of Sugar Ray Leonard, who I felt he won the last fight, knocking out Roberto Duran and challenging undisputed middleweight champion, the great, marvelous Marvin Hagler. Stewart also trained rapper Eminem how to box. I don't know why they really, but the death of Stewart. Stewart died on October 25th, 2012, after undergoing surgery. Um, he was 68 years old. Colon cancer was subsequently reported as a contributing factor to his death. Um, Ken Hirschman, the president of HBO Sports, where Stewart had worked as a commentator since 2001, released a statement saying that there are no adequate words to describe the enormous degree of sadness and loss we feel at HBO Sports with the tragic passing of Manny Stewart. For more than a decade, Manny was a well-respected colleague who taught us so much, not only about the sweet science, but also about friendship and loyalty. His energy, enthusiasm, and bright smile were a constant present. At every HBO telecast, for one of their fallen comrades. 10 bells. They said 10 bells do not seem enough to mourn his passing, because all of his contribution to the sport and especially to HBO boxing will never be forgotten. The thoughts and prayers are with him and his family. Um, his awards. He was elected to the International Boxing Hall of Fame, like I stated earlier. He was elected to the World Boxing Hall of Fame. The Kronk Gym. He trained many. Let's talk about the Kronk Gym a little bit. The Kronk Gym became a property of Stewart's, who was almost famous for his collection of Rolls Royces and cars and mansions. He opened a branch of gyms in Tucson, Arizona. Lamar said, "Tucson, Arizona, coming home." But anyway, but among the world champions and top-rated contenders who trained and sought Stewart's guidance at the point of their careers were Dennis Andrees, Jonathan Banks, Wilfred Benitez, great fighter, Jesse Benitez, Mark Breland, great jab, the jab master, Cornelius Bondrich, hard fighter, Abakar, Julio Cesar Chavez, great, Kermit Cintron, Miguel Cotto, legend, Chad Dawson, great fighter, Oscar De La Hoya, legend, Dominique Dalton, Tyson Fury, no comment, Eucharist Gamboa, good fighter, Miguel Angel Gonzalez, Mickey Goodwin, Nassim Hamed, Thomas the Hitman, the legendary Thomas the Hitman Hearns, and the legendary, the man, the myth, the legend, and Vander, the real deal, Holyfield, John David Jackson, Hilmer Kente, Vladimir Klitschko, Andy Lee, William Caveman Lee, the legend, the undisputed heavyweight champ, Lennox Lewis, Oliver McCall, Mike McCallum, Jerry McClellan, Milt McCory, Steve McCory, Michael Moore, Andrew Murray, Jimmy Paul, Aaron Pryor, man, Adonis Superman Stevenson, Jermaine Taylor, Dwayne Thomas, James Tony, man, Sid Vanderpool, Ricky Womack. The man had a list, man. This man was a legend in this sport. This is not going to be a long video, but this man was a legend in the sport. I just wanted to pay some, just pay a little homage to Emanuel Stewart, which is one of the greatest trainers ever trained. I mean, like I said, trained a lot of good champions and everything, and I mad respect and shout out to him, because he did his thing. He deserved all the accolades, and he should be mentioned. When he should be mentioned all the time. When it comes to boxing. Because everything that he has done for the sport. He had. He gave it his all. He trained this man here, Thomas Hitman Hearns. Um, Thomas the Hitman Hearn, man. He an American boxer. Um, he competed from 1977 to 2006. His nickname was the Motor City Cobra, and more famously, the name came along the Hitman. He was tall, slender build, oversized arms and shoulders allowed him to move up up over 50 pounds in his career, become the first boxer in history to win world titles and get listen now in 5 divisions: welterweight, light middleweight, light heavyweight, super middleweight. This man, Thomas the Hitman Hearns, did it all. And guess who his trainer was? You guessed it. The late, great Emanuel, aka Manny Steward. Great. Man, this is unbelievable. Hitman Hearns, 6'1", 78-inch reach, American. He had a total of 67 total fights, 61 wins, 48 wins by knockout, 5 losses, 1 draw. Steward coached and trained Hearns. Hearns was named Fighter of the Year by the Ring Magazine and the Boxers Writers Association of America in 1980 and 1984. The latter following his knockout of Roberto Duran. Hearn was known as a devastating puncher throughout his career, even at cruiserweight. Despite having climbed up 5 weight classes, he is ranked number 18 on the ring list of 100 great punchers of all time. He should be ranked higher than that. He's currently ranked at number 18 in BoxRec. Should be ranked higher than that. You just don't see a lot of fighters doing the things that Tommy the Hitman Hearn did. I'm sorry, you just don't see it. You just don't see it. You just don't see it. I know. Everybody want to talk about Manny Pacquiao. Man, who cares? It should be an asterisk by everything that Manny Pacquiao has done, because it's rumored throughout his career of PED use. It's rumored. There's no way a fighter at his size can move up 4 or 5 divisions, because it's really not 8 divisions like they're trying to say, because catch weights are not divisions. You either gonna fight at 154 or not. I'm sorry, power don't carry like that. But anyway, that ain't none of my business. But I'll speak on the early life of Thomas the Hitman Hearn. Hearns was born in Grand Junction, Tennessee on October 18, 1958, the youngest of 3 children in his mother's first marriage. With her second marriage, 6 children joined the first 3. On her own, Mrs. Hearn raised Tommy and his siblings in Grand Junction until Tommy was 5 years old. Then the family moved to Detroit, Michigan. Hearn had an amateur record of 155 and 155 wins with 8 losses. 1977, he won the National Amateur Athletic Union Light Welterweight Championship, defeating Bobby Joe Young. Whoa, Bobby Joe Young of Steubenville, Ohio. I said that because my uncle used to live in Steubenville, Ohio. I visited Steubenville, Ohio. Wow. I just didn't know, had boxes from there. Anyway, wow, Steubenville, Ohio. He also won the 1977 National Golden Gloves Light Welterweight Championship. Tommy Hitman Hearn professional career. Hearns began his professional boxing career in Detroit, Michigan, under the tutelage of guess who? The late great Emanuel Steward. 1977, Stewart had changed Hearn from a light hitting amateur boxer to one of the most devastating punchers in boxing history. He won 6 world titles in 5 different weight classes, as I stated, during his full career, defeating future boxer Hall of Famers in Pipno Cuevas, Wilfred Benitez, Virgil Hill, and Roberto Duran. Hearns started his career by knocking out his first 17th opponent in 1980. Hearns carried his 28-0 record into the world title match against Mexico's Cuevas. Hearns ended Cuevas' 4-year reign by beating him by TKO in the second round. Hearns was voted Fighter of the Year by Ring Magazine.